Behind the scenes of the chaos and fighting of World War II, a war of wits and intelligence raged. At the heart of this conflict was the renowned Enigma machine, a complex cipher device developed by the Germans. The contributions of the Polish codebreakers, led by Marian Rejewski, fostered the success of the Bletchley Park codebreakers, who cracked the German Enigma cipher during World War II. The Polish team crossed unmarked territory in mathematics and codebreaking with the development of the cyclometer and the bomba machine, causing a turning point in history by facilitating the Allied victory in World War II. The journey of cracking Enigma began in early 1928 when a mysterious package arrived at the customs office in Poland's capital city, Warsaw. The package was given little attention until the manufacturer sent an urgent notice that the package must be returned to Germany without inspection. Naturally, the Poles were curious, and when they opened it, they discovered a new machine that was foreign to anything they had seen before. A team from the cipher section was sent to analyze it, and they were fascinated by what they saw. The machine was an early commercial Enigma machine. The Poles sent the device back to Germany, but made sure to take detailed notes on its working and construction beforehand. They were able to build a replica. In the early 1930s, Germany began to use modified Enigma machines to communicate with encrypted messages. Throughout the decade, the Germans secretly improved upon the design, and even with their prior knowledge, Polish codebreakers were stumped. The Polish were aware of the power that breaking through the Germans' encrypted messages could bring them, so President Władysław decided to throw their weight behind the cipher section. They got a budget increase, recruited the most prestigious mathematicians of Poznań University, and were renamed to the Cipher Bureau. After taking one look at the previous bureau members' methods, a new Cipher Bureau recruit, Marian Rejewski, scrapped them completely. These old techniques relied on common code-breaking tactics, such as letter frequency analysis and the identification of linguistic patterns to break the cipher. These methods proved useful for the Poles in many former scenarios of code-breaking. However, they would not bear any progress on the Enigma machine. To understand why that is, we must first understand how the Enigma machine works. The machine was created by Arthur Scherbius in 1918 and was improved by the Germans in the years leading up to World War II. Each input entered with the keyboard passes an electric current through a series of rotors, a plugboard, and a reflector, and changes each letter input into a different letter according to the machine's settings, which change often. These settings depended on rotor positions, which were changed each time a letter was typed, and the plugboards, which were changed daily. This is where Marian Rejewski and his fellow Poznań students come in. Just a few months after their arrival, they developed a theorem based on the permutations of encrypted messages to crack the Enigma cipher. At this time, such an in-depth mathematical approach to cryptology was new and revolutionized the field of codebreaking. The standard prior to the 1930s was for codebreakers to consist of experienced linguists who could recognize patterns in scrambled-up codes. The complexity of the Enigma, however, rendered linguists useless, which is what led to the implementation of mathematicians into the field. This theorem was a turning point in the realm of cryptology due to this new concept and has even been dubbed the theorem that won World War II. Using the concepts of this theorem, the Cipher Bureau develops the cyclometer, a machine that was designed to discover Enigma rotor settings efficiently. Over time, the Germans made their machine more complex, and in response, the Polish were forced to improve their cyclometer design and build a new machine called the bomba in 1938. It worked similarly to the cyclometer, but a key difference is that it did not require the presence of a codebreaker. By being able to find the settings of Enigma machine on its own, it made the process more efficient. In the late months of 1939, the Polish, while on the brink of invasion from Germany, shared their findings in codebreaking with Britain and France. They understood that the countries would probably protect them from German invasion if the Polish helped them here. It was at this meeting in Warsaw that the Polish shared their work and decryption methods with the Allies, fostering many future successes throughout the war, smoothing the way for Allied victory in World War II. Not only did the Polish provide the Allies with critical information, they also proved that cracking the Enigma was possible, which convinced Britain that investing their resources into the decryption of Enigma would be worthwhile. After this meeting, the Bletchley Park codebreakers learned a lot about the Enigma machine mechanics. Part of this newfound knowledge came from the Polish presenting their Enigma replicas that they had created. Also, they learned about the Polish technique to pinpoint the daily Enigma settings, which inspired Alan Turing's work, including the bomb. The origins of the name of this machine reflect on the impact that Polish had on the British. The British named the bomb machine to sound similar to the Polish bomba machine to show their dependence on the Polish. With the foundation created by the Polish, the Bletchley Park codebreakers were able to create several more code-breaking machines, including what is known as the first computer ever created. These machines caused many important messages to be decrypted, making Germany more predictable. This is evident when the Bletchley Park codebreakers helped track the activity of German Air Force Luftwaffe in the Battle of Britain in 1940. The goal of Germany was to attack Britain's air force and then invade. However, the communications involved via radio were decrypted by codebreakers in Britain, including Alan Turing and the Bletchley Park organization. Their messages included Germany's plans, replacement orders, and call signs of the planes, which were all important information for the Royal Air Force of Britain. These all contributed to Britain's ability to defend their country in World War II. A loss in this battle would have completely changed the course of the war and certainly would have caused more lives to be lost. One of the greatest impacts that code-breaking had in World War II was on D-Day. On June 6, 1944, one of the most significant military tasks of World War II had commenced. While the invasion began on this day, the preparation for it began far earlier and was by no means easy. A key part of the preparations was the United States bringing ammunition, food, fuel, and soldiers to the British. These materials were transported over the Atlantic Ocean, an area dominated by aggressive and threatening U-boats. However, these U-boat crews were active users of the Enigma cipher, and with the new decryption machines from Bletchley Park, the communications of the U-boats were decrypted. Communications exposed the positions of the U-boats, leading the U.S. to send their supply ships on a safe route. This allowed the D-Day invasion to take place earlier, which caused the battle to end quicker and provided Germany with less time to secure their fronts. Also, the lives of the crew on the transportation ships were saved because less ships were targeted by the killer U-boats. Thus, code-breaking was a key weapon used by the Allies in the war. These moments in the war represent the new advantageous position that the Allied powers held, attributable to their ability to crack the Enigma cipher. Their attacks could be a lot stronger, as evident in D-Day, and their defense could be more secure, as evident in the Battle of Britain. With this access to the German communications, resources and lives were saved, and ultimately, it put the Allies in a far stronger position to remove Nazi rule and win the war. All of this being said, the events that would have transpired had the codebreakers not been involved are impossible for a person to confidently predict. For example, it could be argued that the impact of the codebreakers did not strongly influence the result of the war, but at the same time, it could be argued that it did. Professor and historian Chris Christensen of Northern Kentucky University offers his point of view, which contains both sides of the argument.
So I think eventually the Allies would have won the war. Now, would it have happened as quickly? I would guess probably not.
World War II was a key moment in history where basic rights were at risk, and by playing an important role in the Allied victory, the Polish codebreakers, even if not the deciding factor, helped protect the future of the world, transcending the field of codebreaking in the process. All this work from the British was never really credited for 30 years. However, the crucial work of the Polish, up to date, is still not given the credit it is worthy of. As of right now, many of you probably know who Alan Turing is and his accomplishments and importance. However, I bet there are very few people who have heard the name Mary Armiewski. Without the basis and breakthroughs of the Polish codebreakers and their gift to the British and French, Alan Turing and the Bletchley Park codebreakers would have been unable to impact the war. With the work of Alan Turing and the other British codebreakers, the legacy of the Polish codebreakers has been outshined, and this brilliant group of logicians never really got the recognition they deserved.